Hey everybody, and welcome back to the channel and to the Ultimate Racing League, and welcome back to Spain and Catalunya on the national layout with our League 4 guys for our Sunday evening challenge, event, whatever you want to call it. Now if you've just watched race 1, you'll see what a fantastic finish that was and what a brilliant battle Harry Poppins and Frowny had all the way to the line. Wayne G absolutely dominated and won very convincingly. So we're on to race 2 now. Now there is a mandatory pit stop in this one. I think the pit window is opens at the end of lap 8 and closes at the end of lap 14, I believe. So you've got to get in and get your tyres changed and any fuel required. It is going to be mediums and soft tyres used in this race in any order you want. So we'll go down the grid. Now the grid is reversed. I think it is the last 8 in race 1 are reversed and put at the front. So whoever comes in 9th will start on pole, and then we'll see. I get confused by it all. So we'll get the right camera angle, and we shall go down the grid, shall we? So Hopper's there is on pole position. Captain Slow is 2nd. Molpiece 3rd. DB is 4th. Phaser is 5th. Pete 6th on the grid. Enzo Jack is 7th. Aussie Rooster 8th. Scott is 9th. Harry Poppins 10th and Frowny 11th. So I'm sure those two are going to carry on where they left off. And Wayne G finds himself now down in 12th. He's got a lot of cars to try and make his way through if he wants to win this one. So we'll go back up to Hoppers. You can see darkness is starting to fall. All the lights are on. Well, on the cars anyway, not necessarily around the track. We shall see as we go around. So we shall ask Hoppers to get us underway as he goes across the start-finish line. You can hear the klaxon sounding. And we are off-hand racing. So down towards turn 1 we go. Hoppers leading the way for now. Everybody's still lined up. I can't see anybody jumping out. A great shot that is, isn't it? We do have somebody. It looks like Pete is trying to make a move on Phaser. Oh, it all got a bit bumpery there, didn't it? Aussie Rooster, I can just see, manages to fight his way through the middle of it all. Very congested in that first turn. A lot of cars all trying to make the turn at the same time, so they'll start spreading out. Pete picked up a half-second penalty through all of that, so that was track limits. Oh, who's this? All over the place. Who was that? It was Enzo Jack. We could just see him in the background, and I have no idea why this cursor is doing what it's doing. It's becoming a real nuisance. So Enzo Jack, well, I don't know whether he just got the power down too quickly. I'm not sure what happened, but poor old Enzo Jack now finds himself down in 11th, well, soon to be 12th, as Harry Poppins, well, he's not had the greatest of starts either, has he? So I think what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to go back and have a bit of a look at... Oh, it was Harry Poppins that went off as well. Well, it all got very congested there, didn't it, through turn 1. What we got there, 2, 4, 6, about 6, 7 cars all trying to fight. Enzo Jack went on the gravel, which was probably what caused that. Now Harry Poppins, I'm not sure what was that about. Everybody bumping and bashing into each other. Keep your eye on Harry Poppins. We're on board with him at the minute. Now, did he get hit? Yes, I think he did. I think he got caught, and I don't know who by. That's for the stewards to sort out, not me. But poor old Harry Poppins, he's down in 12th now. He will overtake, obviously, Enzo Jack, because he was all over the place as well. Dirty tyres, I think, for Enzo Jack. He's struggling to get off the gravel, isn't he? Oh, I feel your pain, honestly, I really do. As Harry Poppins goes by, so we'll go back up to the pointy end as Hoppers goes around turn 8 and heads towards the chicane for the first time. Still a little bit of lag coming from Hoppers, which could confuse everybody else, but he leads us through turn 11 and across the start-finish line to complete lap 1, and a bit of a messy lap it was as well, but he's got DB and Molpiece all over him. So is DB and Maltby's going to make a move on Hoppers. Hoppers still out in front. Maltby and DB side by side as they go into turn 1. DB's got to go the long way round, and I think he's got it done as well. And that's a great move from DB. He gets himself up into second. Now it looked like somebody went off there. I didn't see who it was. Oh no, was it Hoppers? It was. So Hoppers was leading. We went into turn 1 and then through turn 2 and 3. And did he just get, well, he just didn't get the car slowed down, did he? Ends up on the kitty litter. And that's Hoppers got from first all the way down. Well, he's going to end up, what, 11th, 12th. So that was so unlucky for Hoppers. But back up to our new race. Oh, was somebody else as well? It's absolute carnage, this is, isn't it? Up to now. Who was that went flying off? Oh, it might have been the lag from Hoppers. Well, I just saw a car go flying across the track then, but I think it may have been the lag coming from Hoppers. So back up to the top then. DB leading this race at the minute. He's on the medium tyres. Maltby on the softs. He's in second at the minute. I'm just having a look. They're going around Europe car turn 8 into the chicane. So Maltby should have the advantage tyre wise, at least for the early stages of this race anyway. Is he going to get close enough to DB to make a move? Probably not, actually, before they get to the end of this straight and into turn 1. Scott in third. And we've got Aussie Rooster in fourth. Captain Slow in fifth. Pete sixth. Wayne G. Oh, Wayne G now in sixth. He's made his way all the way from 12th all the way up to 6th. So he's having a fantastic race. And we're only on lap 3. So well done to Wayne G. He's on the mediums as well, so we've got the soft tyres to come. Up to 5th now is Wayne G. So he really is looking at taking maximum points from this meeting in Spain. So Pete in 6th, Captain Slow 7th, Frowny in 8th, Hoppers 9th. Harry Poppins made his way up to 10th. He's got Hoppers just ahead of him, so he'll be looking to try and get by Hoppers as quick as he can. Enzo Jack in 11th. And Phaser down in 12th. So Maltby still in front as they go into turn 8. He has got DB and Scott all over him though. Maltby's doing a good job. DB has dropped a spot. Remember, he was leading. Maltby has just got by him. We missed that, and apologies for that. And it looks like DB is going to lose a place to Scott as well. Scott on the soft tyres, DB on the mediums. So Scott is on the inside as we head down towards turn 1. Well, he was on the inside, and he still is. He's had another little look. So Scott moves up into second. Not much DB could do about it. It was just the advantage of tyres that Scott had. DB down in third. We'll jump on board with DB, shall we? As we see Maltby and Scott just ahead of him in P1 and P2. He's got Aussie Rooster in P4 just behind him. Into this tight left-hander of turn 5. Maltby and Scott going side by side, and Scott gets himself into P1. Maltby's having to slot in behind. Wayne G now hooked to 4th and is chasing DB, so that is what DB is going to have a mirror full of. And that is Wayne G's car. So Wayne G is definitely on a mission, isn't he, in race 2. He's on the medium tyres as well, and look how close he's got just in those couple of turns through this chicane. So Wayne G really not messing about. He's definitely in the slipstream of DB as they head down towards turn 1. Wayne G slots to the inside. Is he going to get it done? He is. Very late on the brakes. Oh, and Wayne G has just overcooked it a bit too late. Unfortunately for Wayne G, he was just you could see what he was trying to do. He was leaving it as late as he could before making the move. He wanted to get very late on the brakes, and he just couldn't get that car slowed down, and he was very fortunate he didn't take Maltby out with him then. Manages to stay on the track, but definitely dropped a place or two, and Wayne G now down into 5th. He's got Pete just behind him in 6th, carrying a half-second penalty. We've got Aussie Rooster and DB. I thought DB had pulled alongside Aussie Rooster. But Aussie Rooster hanging on to third position at the minute. This is all a lot tighter in this second race. Now remember, there is a mandatory pit stop in this race, and I do believe that it's the end of lap 8 is when the pit windows open, so there will be change of tyres and fuel if required. So Scott out in front, Maltese in second, Aussie Rooster is third, Wayne G back up to fourth. He's going to get as close as he can to Aussie Rooster as they come out of turn 11 onto the start finish straight. So Wayne G will be looking at getting into P3 within the next 1 or 2 turns. He's not going to get it done at turn 1, is he? No. So Wayne G still behind Aussie Rooster, but for how long? Aussie Rooster on the softs, Wayne G on the mediums, but Wayne G definitely looks quicker. Fastest lap so far belongs to Scott, a 1:15.2. Brownie in 5th. Had that fantastic battle, didn't he, with Harry Poppins in race 1, but Brownie in 5th, and Harry Poppins, unfortunately, well, where is he? There he is. He's down in 9th, losing valuable points, really. Wayne G is looking at gaining maximum points, so the gap could open up between those two now. Wayne G and Harry Poppins actually joint leaders in the league at the minute on 248 points. Just have to find me a bit of paper then. But if Harry Poppins stays in 9th, which I'm sure he won't, and Wayne G, well, he's definitely on a mission, isn't he? Who's that? Oh, it's Brownie serving a penalty. Only half a second. Pete, oh, just behind him. Pete's picked up a 1 second penalty. Is that going to allow DB through? DB having a look at the inside as they get to turn 1. Hard on the brakes. See those brake discs glowing red hot as the guys try and slow these cars down going into these turns on this short track. DB, oh, he's just got that turn a little bit wrong, hasn't he? Turn 3, and that's Captain Slow and well, Harry Poppins are now all over DB. Well, Captain Slow's in front of him, Harry Poppins all over him now, so Harry Poppins will be looking at getting that P8 away from DB. Oh, as DB goes deep into turn 5 as well, and Harry Poppins already gifted that one. Absolutely gifted that position from DB, a mistake from him. Popper's down in 10th, he's got Enzo Jack for company in 11th, and then Fraser down in 12th, so Fraser not really enjoying this race as much as he did race 1. He's on the medium tyres, or has he stopped? He may have stopped, I'm not sure. No, he couldn't have stopped. We're still only on lap 7. Oh, maybe I've got it wrong then. So people are stopping now. Wayne G is in, DB is in, so maybe the pit window is lap 7. So Wayne G in, DB in, Fraser is now in. So back up at the top then, Scott just starting to open up a little bit of a lead from Maltese. Maltese currently in second, with Aussie Rooster pushing him hard, really putting the pressure on. Are we going to see anybody else on the medium tyres coming in? So Frownie is in 4th position. He's the next guy on the medium tyres, so let's just see if Brownie's going to come in and swap to the softs. The pit entry just being after the chicane, so we'll just see if Brownie stays to the right and pulls into the pit. No, he doesn't. Brownie's going to stay out. Pete also staying out, he's in 5th. Harry Poppins in 6th, chasing Pete down as they cross the start finish line to start lap 9. Harry Poppins not close enough to take P5 away from Pete just yet. Then we've got Captain Slow in 7th, Enzo Jack in 8th, Hoppers 9th, Wayne G in 10th. He's now out on soft tyres. So Wayne G got a lot of cars in front of him if he wants to get up on the podium in race 2. We will keep an eye on that then. We've got just over half the race to go, so I'm sure Wayne G can do it. He's got some clean air in front of him, and he's under no pressure behind as well, so he can really start putting the laps in now. Current fastest lap, the 1:15.1, held by Scott, who's currently leading. DB in 11th and then Fazer in 12th. They have both made a stop. Scott, he hasn't stopped yet. He's still out on the original soft tyres. You can see Frowney now has come into the pits. He's on the mediums, so he's going to change on to softs. Molepiece in 2nd. He's on the softs. He's not stopped either. Same with Aussie Rooster. So the top 3 have currently yet to pit. We are on lap 10 of 20 as Aussie Rooster practically pushing. Oh, we've got a yellow flag. Why have we got a yellow flag? Oh, and it's Fazer. What happened to Fazer? Oh no, he just got turn 4. He got campus completely wrong. He got himself on that AstroTurf. And if we see it again, you'll see that he goes too far over to the right. You have to try and get your right on wheels on that curb, but if you go too far, as he did there, he's on the AstroTurf and it just pulled the car round, so that's unlucky for Fazer. Already down in 12th. Will not be happy with that as he tries to get the car back on track. We're on lap 9 and he's just been lapped by Scott, I believe it was, yeah. So that's unlucky for Fazer. Scott, on the other hand, though, really in control of this race so far. We'll see if he's going to pit this time. So around turn 7 he goes. Remember the pit entry just after the chicane. So through turns 9 and then 10. Now does he stay to the right and go into the pit? No, he's still staying out. So Scott quite happy to stay out for now. Aussie Rooster in 2nd, he's staying out as well. Molepiece, he'll stay out. So the top 3 still yet to pit. Harry Poppins, I don't think he's pitted either. He's got Pete all over him. Pete with a half-second penalty. That's going to slow him down a little bit. Take the pressure off of Harry Poppins. So let's just have a look. Pete on the medium tyres, Harry Poppins on the softs. So Harry Poppins in 4th. For now, Pete 5th, just having served that penalty. Then we've got Captain Slow in 6th, Enzo Jack 7th, Wayne G. Well, he's picked up a penalty. I think he's pushing too hard now. He is desperate to get up and through the field, isn't he? But he's got quite a task on his hands, to be fair. Brownie in 9th, Hoppers into the pits, and then Fazer in 12th, having already made a stop. So Fazer just needs a few deep breaths and just get his head back in the game. We'll just keep an eye on Fazer. I just want to see if he gets in front of Hoppers. You can see Hoppers still sitting in the pits as Fazer goes around turn 10, out of the chicane and through 11. It looks like Hoppers is on his way out. Yes, he is. So Hoppers on his way out. So the 2 teammates now in 11th and 12th as Fazer is going to start chasing Hoppers down. So back, oh, what did I see then? So back up to the top then, Scott, still out in front. Captain Slow and Enzo Jack both into the pits in 6th and 7th. I would suggest that Scott is going to have to pit either at the end of this lap or the next lap. So it could be the end of lap 7 and the end of lap 13 then for the pit window for these guys. Go into the chicane. Well, no, it's turn 8 for now. Now it's down towards the chicane for Scott. I just want to see if he's going to come into the pits yet. Yes, he has. So our race leader is into the pits. Aussie Rooster, is he going to follow him? Remember, the top three haven't pitted yet. Aussie Rooster has stayed out. Molepiece is in, so Aussie Rooster's going to take over the lead of this race, but remember, he hasn't pitted yet, so he's going to have to pit, I think, at the end of this lap. So Aussie Rooster now moves up into P1. Hairy Poppins into P2. We've got Scott, Molepiece and Pete all in the pit, so that's 3, 4 and 5 in the pit. So where is Waynie G? Waynie G is just coming out of turn 11 onto the start finish straight, so Waynie G could move up now into third, and he does. So Waynie G moves up into no, he doesn't. So Scott has come out of the pits just as Waynie G goes through, so Waynie G moves up into P3, Scott into P4 as he comes out of the pits. Frowny is in 5th, Molepiece 6th, DB 7th, Pete is 8th, Captain Slow 9th, Enzo Jack 10th, Hoppers 11th, and Phaser is 12th. So Aussie Rooster, he's just coming out of the chicane now, so Aussie Rooster surely has got to come into the pits. He has. So the race leader into the pits. Harry Poppins just coming out of the chicane and into turn 11. Oh, Harry Poppins has come into the pits as well. I'd forgotten that he hadn't pitted. So Waynie G surely is going to take over the lead of this race. He has made a pit stop, Waynie G, so he's not going to have to come in again. So through turn 9, then 10, into turn 11. This sweeping right-hander which takes you out onto the start-finish line. Start-finish straight, sorry. And Waynie G is going to go through. He takes the fastest lap as well, a 1:14.3. And Waynie G moves up into P1. Scott is now in P2 with Brownie in 3rd. Aussie Rooster just coming out of the pits in 4th. Molepiece just behind him, just couldn't get ahead of Aussie Rooster who's coming out of the pits. Harry Poppins, he's out of the pits now on medium tyres in 6th position. That is too far back for him. Really, he needs to be a lot further up the field than that to try and stay in touch with Waynie G leading into the last race. DB in 7th, Pete in 8th, Captain Slow 9th, Enzo Jack is 10th, Hoppers 11th, and Phaser down in 12th. And that is all the pit stops done, I believe. So it is now just a sprint to the finish. We're on lap 14 with Waynie G out in front as he was in race 1. And I'm sure that gap is just going to get bigger and bigger now. Back to Scott. Scott has got Frowny bearing down on him. So I think Scott will be concentrating on trying to keep Frowny. Frowny just picked up a penalty there, just went a little bit wide as he came through turn 11. So Scott will be, well, I think he'll have a bit of a smile on his face, although they've got to do the entire lap with Frowny carrying that penalty because the penalty zone is on the start-finish straight. So Frowny will be doing everything he can to get in front of Scott before he has to serve that penalty. If he can, then that will obviously work in his favour. If not, Scott will be able to just pull away a little bit further, but Frowny right up the chuff of Scott. He pulls to the outside as they head down towards turn 5. He's going to have to go the long way round unless he tries the cut back. No, he is going to go try and go the long way round. Couldn't get that done. It is just too tight to go around the outside of turn 5. Into turn 7 they go then. Frowny just slotting in behind Scott. So he couldn't really get the move done unless something happens through the chicane. So that's going to enable Scott just to get away those few extra meters as Frowny serves this penalty. So we're going to come out of turn 11 full throttle, and then it is straight into the penalty zone for Frowny. And there we see Scott just pull away those extra few meters just to take the pressure off. Frowny under no pressure whatsoever. There is nobody anywhere near him. So the front three, well, it looks like this is how they're going to finish, albeit apart from some sort of disaster. but in which order? And I think the battle is between Scott and Frowney. We are on lap 16. There's five laps to go. So we'll just drop down a little bit and have a look through the rest of the grid. Aussie Rooster in 4th. He's got Maltese behind him, although he's not really putting him under any pressure. Likewise for Maltese, he's not coming under pressure from Harry Poppins yet, who will be aware that Harry Poppins is there. And obviously Harry Poppins really has got to try and get himself up through the pack to get some decent points to stay in touch with Wayne G. DB in 7th. Pete is in 8th. All of these guys are a little bit closer to each other, so we could see some racing towards the end of this this session as Pete tries to put the pressure on DB as they go through the chicane, and then through turn 11 they go, and Pete and DB side by side. Now who's that? Pete has picked up a penalty. A bit of a tongue twister, isn't it? Pete has picked up a penalty. Almost as bad as the Peter Piper pickle thing. Anyway, DB in 7th. Keeps Pete behind him. Pete has got to carry that penalty all the way around for a whole lap. It's not, obviously it's not going to slow him down or anything, but in a way it does give him the opportunity to try and get in front of DB. We had this earlier on, didn't we? I think it was Frowney and Scott. As Pete does get ahead, he moves up into 7th ahead of DB. Now he needs to open up a gap, at least a half a second, if he's going to cancel that penalty out. Otherwise, Pete will just take P7 back again. And that's probably what his plan is. So DB is just going to sit as close as he can to Pete as they go through turn 8 and head down towards the chicane. So we'll just see what's happening. You can see the bar starting to fill up above Pete's car. So if DB can get close enough, he's almost guaranteed to take P7 back. So there's the penalty served. Now let's just keep an eye on DB. Was he close enough? He's got the momentum to keep going. No, he wasn't. He couldn't get the move done. He has got right onto the back of Pete, but he wasn't close enough to get the move done. So Pete stays in 7th. Enzo Jack in 10th. Hopper's 11th. Oh, and Hopper's, well, I was going to say Hopper's finds himself in the gravel, but he didn't. I think that was the lag. And it's a bit of time warping that he's been doing. And then Fazer, his teammate, in 12th. Go back up to Wayne G, looking comfortable as he did in race 1. Around turn 11, across the start finish line to start lap 19. So only 2 laps to go for Wayne G. Brownie in 2nd, Scott a lot closer to him. So we're on board with Scott now, and if we look behind us, you can see, well, you can't see anybody, can you? It's just Aussie Rooster is just coming around turn 11 now as these guys approach turn 1. So Scott now trying to put the pressure on Frowney. And what a fantastic battle Frowney had in race 1 with Harry Poppins, and it looks like he could end up having another one here, but this time with Scott. These are the front 3, Wayne, Frowney and Scott, 1, 2 and 3. Nearest to them is Aussie Rooster in 4th. He's not really under any pressure, so he can just concentrate on bringing that NSX home in 4th position. Then Harry Poppins has made his way up into 5th, but is it enough? I don't think it is. I'm not sure he's close enough to Aussie Rooster to get P4. He could really do with it. Just didn't come right for him, did it, in this race? So Harry Poppins down in 5th. Molepiece is in 6th. He's got Pete all over him, his teammate. So these two, I'm not sure if there's any team orders. So whether Molepiece has been told to let Pete through, or Pete has been told, or will be told, to back off. and not put the pressure on Maltese. I'm not sure. It may be just every man for himself, so we shall see as the two teammates head down towards turn 1 for the final time. DB dropped to 8th. Captain Slow is in 9th. He's on his own as well. Enzo Jack in 10th. Phaser 11th, and Hoppers in 12th, although those two are closer. Oh, as Hoppers goes off again. So up to the top then, Wayne G as he comes around turn 8, excuse me, for the final time into the chicane. Absolutely dominated tonight as Wayne G. And he's going to cross the line to take the second win of the evening. A flash of the lights already to celebrate, he knows, and well done to Wayne G to take the win. Frowney is going to come across the line in second. Some fantastic points for Frowney, he'll be well pleased with that. Scott across the line in third, again some good points for him. Aussie Rooster, he's going to exit 11th, and he can see the checkered flag. Flash of the lights from him, so he's pleased with that. In 4th, Harry Poppins across the line in 5th. Molepiece is going to be 6th. Now Pete carries a half-second penalty across the line, and so does DB, so that could equate to a 1-second penalty. Captain Slow crosses the line in 9th. Enzo Jack 10th. Phaser will come across the line in 11th, but I'm not sure what those penalties will do to DB and who was it, Pete? I'm not sure. We shall see as Phaser and Hoppers go around the chicane for the last time. Well, Hoppers, he's suffered with the lag, and I think that's upset his racing tonight. So Phaser across the line, Hoppers 11th. Oh, we've lost one, didn't we? I can't remember who it was we lost. So that was race 2. Thank you very much for watching, and I shall catch you all next week, where we will be at the Nürburgring for the final round of the season. So yeah, really looking forward to that one, and I will catch you all shortly.